Huntsville. Broadcasting live from the Wiesner Huntsville studios. We are your hometown radio station, playing today's best country and all your favorites. 101.7 KSAM.
It's the Huntsville Hornets Coaches Show with head coach Rodney Southern, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Now, here's Carlos Zimmerman and Brian Adams.
And we welcome you back, ladies and gentlemen, to Chick-fil-A of Huntsville for the Hornet Nation Coaches Show. How we doing tonight? Come on, let me hear ya. A happy September the 9th to you. Did you know, Brian, today is the day that is the most common birthday anyone could have, is September the 9th.
You know what? As a matter of fact, I did not know that, but today is my sister's birthday.
Oh, well,
so maybe
birthday.
it is the most popular day.
Happy birthday to your sister.
Thank you,
Well,
man.
we welcome you back, ladies and gentlemen. Me and Brian are happy to be back from Orlando. And while we were in Orlando with Sam Houston, we saw a butt whooping that Huntsville put on Brian on Friday night, and we'll talk all about that here this evening. Joining us first here in our coaches spotlight, y'all give it up for defensive coordinator Amaury Del Real. Come on. Coach, how are you, sir?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Doing very well. Glad to have you here, sir. So
Thank you for
we've
having
had you here on the show before,
Yes,
but I do want to, just for someone who may be tuning in for the very first time, just talk about your journey to Huntsville. You played at Belton. I believe you played for Coach
Yes, sir.
Southern, and now you get to coach alongside of him. Just talk about your journey.
Well, you kind of said it right there. I played for Coach Southern when he got to Belton in 2007, 6, something like that. I graduated in 2010. That's all I remember. So I played for him for 3 years, and when I was kind of getting ready to figure out what I wanted to do post-high school, the plan was always to go to college, but I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I remember I got in trouble for failing English, and he told me, you probably need to start coaching. And so that's kind of where it all started. And I'm being honest. Then I went to Sam Houston, and that's when he took the job here at Huntsville, and he told me whenever you get ready to cross the stage, hit me up, and I did exactly that, and here I am.
Here you are, 11 years later or so?
Oh, I got here his third year, so this is year 9,
Okay.
I believe.
9.
Math
is hard.
I was good at math, but right now it's late in the day, It's been a lot.
We are the math
watched-
geniuses.
I watched a lot of
Here
film,
for
and
sure.
Aren't we?
My brain's fried now.
No, I understand. B.A.?
So, Coach, tell the audience, when you were a player, what was the biggest thing as a player that helped prepare you for your coaching career?
Honestly, just all the coaches that I was around. Coach Southern, I think I said it last time, Coach Southern has always done a great job of putting great men around our kids. And when I was playing, he put a great men around us, and just learning from them, and, the good things, the bad things even. Just learning from that and trying to take the good and maybe stray away from the things that weren't as positive. But I think that's the biggest thing, just the impact that a lot of coaches had on not just me, but the guys that I play with. I still, talk to some of them, and a lot of the coaches I still, hit up every once in a while. So I think that's the biggest thing for me.
Now, as the leader of the defense, as the DC, looking at this year's defense, you guys have built up a great foundation over the last couple of years, even before that. Just what's impressed you the most of this defensive unit 2 games in?
Their hustle, their fight. I think against Brenham, it was a lot of, I was telling Brian before the show, but it was a lot of inexperienced eyes sometimes, and that's what Brennan kind of took advantage of. A lot of trick plays, some, play action, misdirection type stuff. And they got us, and I think our kids, the one thing I told them, I'd never question their hustle, their fight, their run to the ball, because that's the one thing, if nothing else, and they know that, if we do nothing else, we're going to run to the ball and hit people. So, they did that very well, and it kept us in the game, and unfortunately we came out on the negative end of it, and that's just due to the lack of, play time for some of the guys. And then you fast forward to last Friday, and, we took care of a lot of the silly penalties and stuff like that, and continued to run to the ball and just got better, and you saw the results on Friday. And we're not where we want to be yet, but
Sure. Some other takeaways from Friday. It was 21-17 in the third quarter for a good part of it. Then you got to the halfway point and the offense exploded. But then with the offense exploding, the defense needs to turn it around. You got a big pick 6 towards the end that kind of sealed the game from McCork Norman, who we'll have on the show tonight. Just how big was those explosive plays on both sides of the ball to be able to help you all get to a victory?
Well, when you look at the success we had last year, I think the turnovers and they know because we looked at it, at the beginning of the year. That's a big part of what makes us great is just giving the ball to the offense or us just go get a little piece of the pie and go score. So when Bug picked that ball off, everybody got really excited. It breaks them a little bit. Talking about Brian, it puts a little bit of a nail on the coffin. So those key plays, they just turn the momentum to our side, and it's hard to come back from things like that.
Coach, watching your defense, one of the takeaways I got from the first game against Brenham that Carlos and I were able to call was the defense is swarming to the ball, as you mentioned a minute ago, and that's one of the things, being an old Hornet, that the defense always stressed to those guys: swarm to that football, overwhelm that football. And watching you guys do it, man, it's such a cool thing to see. Where do you draw your inspiration to get up every day to do what you do for these kids and for the community?
Well, I think first and foremost, growing up, being the son of immigrant parents and me being an immigrant myself, that's kind of what has always been taught to me and my siblings. So that's kind of where it all starts. And then having great men to learn from, like Coach Southern and the other coaches that he had in the staff in Belton, and then being just a freshman coach and being under Coach Schroeder's leadership. When he was the defensive coordinator, I've learned a lot from every single one of the coaches that have been around here. So I think, and Coach Southern asked us this question, what it would mean to us to win a state championship personally. And for me, it would kind of validation that my parents, all the hard work they didn't go to waste. And I don't think it has, but I know that just personally that's kind of what, I want to win one. And second, to say thank you to Coach Southern, Coach Schroeder, and the rest of the coaches that have put a lot into me learning, and just kind of say thank you, and you made the right choice when you made the move to make me the defensive coordinator.
Absolutely. I asked Coach Schroeder this last week, and I want to get your perspective on it because I think at its core it means the same for all of you coaches on the staff, but I think every individual coach has their own different perspective. Your wife, Ruby, obviously a big mainstay for you. I believe you have a young child back at home
10
as
months.
well. 10 months.
Saturday.
10 months on Saturday.
Wow, that's awesome.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Just talk about just what she has meant for you in this coaching journey.
Well, this may sound odd to people, but that was one of the first conversations we had when we first started dating. It was, me being a coach. Dang, it got quiet in here.
Oh, yeah, it did.
Dang.
Everybody's waiting to hear the answer.
Yeah. No, we just, I talked to her about the coaching life and what it could mean as, if you do not so well, you're probably going to be moving somewhere. And if you do great, you can stay in a place. And she's from here. She was born here in Huntsville and went, all through grade school here, went to Sam Houston. So she's never left this town outside of trips, So that was something that we had to have a conversation about, and she understood it, and she's been a rock. She's been the real MVP, as Kevin Durant would say.
Sure.
Behind, in a weird way, behind the success of our team and our defense. Because she supports us and she's there every Friday when she can. I don't know now with little man, but it'll be a little tougher. But he's been a trooper too, and so thank her for that. And I know she's probably watching, so I'm gonna hear the ahs when I get home, but. Love her to death.
There you go. That's what it's about. Last thing for you, Coach. Cedar Park this Friday. Long trip out there towards the Austin area. Just some thoughts on that ball game.
Well, I was just talking to BJ about it before the game. I think the big challenge for our kids is going to be the swing of momentum, things like that. Not get too low when things go bad, not get too high when things go great. You kind of stay in even keel, and obviously the long trip is something that a lot of our guys haven't experienced. So that's the biggest thing. They're going to be a well-coached team, and they know that. We've talked about it. They got a good running back, got a good receiver, quarterbacks, probably a better throw than what we've seen so far. So it's just doing your job, which we've talked about for the last 3 weeks, doing your job and stay even keeled. Don't get too high, don't get too low, and just play football, swim to the ball.
That's right. Brian, any final thoughts for Amori?
No, we're excited for this weekend, man. It's like I told you before we came on, as you were sitting there, it feels there's really a good vibe going on with this team. The culture that Rodney Southern has turned this place into, man, it's just phenomenal. We're excited for you, the Hornets, and we can't wait for you guys to get that victory Friday night.
Absolutely. Coach, before we let you go, this is on behalf of Chick-fil-A, and just
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
everything you do for the Huntsville community and these kids.
Thank you.
All right, y'all give it up for defensive coordinator, Coach Amori Del Real. Coach, appreciate you.
Thank you, Coach.
We'll step aside and take a break, and when we come back, we'll dive into our teacher spotlight. Mr. Scott Bumbaugh is joining us here this evening on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show after
My
this.
former boss for a while.
There's nothing sweeter than a baby's giggle. Fill your Wednesdays and smiles for miles at toddler time from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. at Chick-fil-A of Huntsville. Bring your 2 to 5-year-olds for crafts and guest appearances. It's toddler time every Wednesday morning at 9:30 only at Chick-fil-A Huntsville. Find out more on the Chick-fil-A of Huntsville Facebook page or through the events calendar on the Chick-fil-A Huntsville website. See you there.
Your brand is your business. Shop local with Advantage Specialties, where you will get service with a personal touch. Hello, I'm Stephanie Pitts, owner and operator of Advantage Specialties. Advantage Specialties offers screen printing and embroidery on site. Let Advantage Specialties get you ready for your next event with cups, apparel, caps, pins, and everything else you could need. Go to AdvantageSpecialties.com or call our team at 936-291-3222 to start that order now. Sting 'em Hornets!
And hello. We are back and alive and well here tonight at Chick-fil-A of Huntsville. Carlos Zimmerman here alongside of Brian Adams. Brian, we have a special guest in the audience with us this evening if you want to introduce him real quick.
Yeah, we do, and I would be amiss if I didn't introduce him. I want folks, please give it up for the All-State former Hornet kicker, David Hardy, in the house. Thank you for coming, David. Good to see you.
Thank you for coming, and thanks for everything you do, sir. As we continue along here, ladies and gentlemen, before we introduce our teacher spotlight, I do want to let y'all know at the end of the show tonight for you guys that are in-house, and I'll show this for the people watching on the stream as well. These are the shirts that are going to be given away at the season finale against Splendora for Red, White, and Blue Night. Emma here in-house is showing it to the folks in attendance. We're going to give away these two shirts at the end of the show tonight, and we want you to wear them for the season finale. They're absolutely beautiful. You love the red, white, and blue patriotic feel, so enter to win over here with our spinner, and we'll draw a winner at the end of the show. All right, joining us now here in our Teachers Spotlight, which is a segment we introduced a week ago. We want to highlight all the great teachers that we have at the Huntsville High School community, and joining us here tonight, y'all give it up for Mr. Scott Bumbaugh. Mr. Bumbaugh, how are you, sir?
I'm well, thank you.
Absolutely. So, just it is your first time here on the show. Just introduce yourself to the listening audience and what you do in Huntsville High.
Well, my name is Scott Bumbaugh, and I teach German at the high school. I've taught Spanish and world geography. I think this year 32 for me here in the district, and I enjoy my job. It's a great job.
Absolutely.
What got you into your profession that you're in? Obviously, it sounds like you speak many foreign languages. Was that part of it?
Well, my dad was in the U.S. Army. He was an Army medic, and he was stationed in Germany twice, and we lived there a total of 5 years. And so I picked up German when I was there, and when my dad went to Vietnam in '69, I came back, and I had friends at school, and they wanted me to teach them German, and I was hooked. I knew I wanted to be a teacher. So ever since then.
Yeah, terrific, noble cause for sure.
Talk about your daily interactions with your students every day. I mean, it's already tough enough teaching a foreign language, something that they're not used to, but just talk about those daily interactions you have with them.
Well, I try to make it fun for the kids, make it interesting. Foreign language, it's like I teach my students, every day is not going to be a lot of fun, laughing and everything like that, but if you can bring in humor, if you can bring in something new to them, let them see a different aspect of culture that they might not be aware of, then that makes their experience with the language a little bit more rich, and it always also gives them a little impetus to try a little bit harder. So, and I also try to remember what it was like for me when I was their age. It's been a long time. I'm coming up on 50 years in 2 more years from graduating high school, but I try to remember what it was like for me to be their age and everything that was, I had to go through, and try to be understanding with them.
If there was another subject you could teach besides the one you're teaching now, language and stuff like that, what would it be and why?
Another subject that I would like to teach, world history. I would love to teach world history. I love science too. Though, I only took the basics in college, but I really enjoy science.
So talk a little bit about the world history passion that you have and why.
Well, I think, if you have a background, if you have an understanding of history, then you can see the continuum of things that, a lot of people think, oh, we have so many problems in the world, but they're forgetting what people went through before. So, I was fortunate enough to know my great-grandparents growing up, and, they went through 2 world wars. My grandmother's younger brother was a prisoner of war during World War II. Wow. Had a cousin whose ship, it wasn't sunk, but a Japanese torpedo went through the ship, and they plugged the holes literally with mattresses.
Wow.
And got it back to base. And I think that if we have an understanding of history, we can get through difficulties that we have individually, as a state, as a nation, and pull together with our allies to make it better.
Absolutely. What's the goal for you just every single day when it comes to reaching these students beyond the subject of German or whatever it is you may be teaching?
I think what I really want them to know is that I care for them, and I do. I really do care. And I want them to do their best, and I want them to have a great experience at high school.
Now, I want to dig more into this German language because I'm a quarter German, and I have a lot, and my family immigrated from Germany in the late 1800s. Just what about the German language just intrigues you?
I guess the first 2 years that we lived in Germany, we were the only Americans in town, and we couldn't get art-based housing, and so if we wanted to play with the kids, we had to play with German kids, and they weren't going to speak English to us, and I think that when you understand somebody else's point of view through their language, that helps you build bridges. I've been fortunate enough to go back many times to Germany since my dad was in the Army, taking my own students and letting them really experience that joy, I guess I would call it, of being able to communicate with others in their own language. And I think that's true with any language, not specifically about German, but just a few years ago, I was able to go to the town where my immigrant ancestor came from. And he came over as a Hessian soldier during the Revolutionary War.
Wow.
And defected and joined the Continental Army. And, just being able to walk down those streets and see the things that my 5th great-grandfather saw and see family names on the walls of buildings, that was an emotional connection for me right there.
Where's your ancestor from in Germany?
He came from Schmalkalden, which is a small town in the center of Germany. So it used to be in the old East, but at the time when he emigrated, it was part of Hesse, which is a state now in Western Germany.
My family immigrated from Leipzig,
yes,
Germany.
A beautiful city.
I long to go see it one day.
Beautiful city.
Absolutely. Last thing for you, Mr. Bumbaugh, is if there's someone listening right now, they're wanting to get into teaching, and they're not sure, which direction to go. What would be the best piece of advice you could give them with your experience?
Do it. Just do it. My first year of teaching here at Huntsville High School, Ann Freilich was the principal at the time, and she reached out to my professor up at Sam Houston, Dr. I forget her name at the time, Dr. Hannah Lewis, and so we need a German teacher, and so I went and interviewed, and Ms. Freilich said, well, we need you to teach German, and I need you to teach Spanish. Can you do that? And I said, I can do it. And Ms. Freilich gave me that chance. Dr. Lewis gave me the opportunity to have that chance because she gave me that foundation. And I've never looked back. It was a great experience. I can honestly say my first year I didn't know what I was doing. But I had a great time with those kids. And, people ask me now, why are you still doing it? And I guess the baseline is they keep me young. And they give me a reason to get up in the morning. And I have some great kids. I teach some really awesome kids, and I guess that's what keeps me coming back. And so I would encourage anybody who thinks they might want to do it, just get out there. Is it going to be hard? Yeah, it's hard work. But anything you love is going to be difficult. You got to put in time and effort and sweat.
That's right.
You know what? I sit there and we're listening to you talk, and I guarantee everybody in here, including me, we feel the passion coming out of you for teaching. I mean, you can feel it. And to have that for our kids in high school, somebody that's that passionate about what they're teaching them, helping them out, is fantastic. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
for that.
Thank you, sir. And on behalf of Chick-fil-A, this is their token of appreciation for you
thanks.
and everything that you do for Huntsville and our kids.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thanks
Y'all give
for
it up for teacher Scott Bumbaugh joining us tonight. All right, we'll step aside and take a break. We'll, for a brief moment, for a message from KSAM, and then we will have senior linebacker number 8, McCorrick Norman, join us after this brief message from your hometown radio station.
Brian brings you the newest Texas and red dirt country music.
I'm gonna find myself a honky-tonk, honey, the kind you only find in the country. Hello, Texas. Sure it's good to see me a friend.
Along with your legendary Texas troubadours.
Now you better do some thinking, then you'll find you got the only daddy that'll walk the line. Cry, to make you feel better. Set it on down the tear-stained letter.
Every Saturday night from 6 to midnight, The Backroads, brought to you by Bill Fick Ford on 101.7 KSAM.
Hi, it's McCord Norman, varsity linebacker, and you're listening to 101.7 KSAM Stingham Hornets.
35-17, Huntsville leads Bryan in this one. Two receivers to the near sideline. Shotgun snap, Turner looks to the near sideline. This one intercepted on a bobble. Taking it, McCord Norman. He's got blockers in front of him. Dives for the pylon. He is in for 6. Pick 6 for Huntsville. McCorrick Norman, we've been saying his name all night. He steps up big once again and really puts the icing on the cake with 7 minutes left in this one.
You darn right he did on Friday night. As welcome here on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show with head coach Rodney Southern and company is senior linebacker, one of the big heroes from Friday night. Y'all give it up for number 8, Bug McCorrick Norman. Bug, how are you, brother?
Good, how about you?
Doing good. Glad to have you here. So, I mean, you probably know the answer to this, but how'd you feel about Friday night?
I mean, I feel like we came out and we stepped up from last Friday. And, I mean, it might not be a good thing to say, but I kind of feel like it was good that we got that loss at the beginning of the season, and it made us wake up and realize, like, it ain't going to be a cakewalk like we think. So we got to come out, hit everybody in the mouth, play balls out.
What was going on through your head during that pick 6 on that return?
Really, I seen it like you could tell by how they aligned that it was finna come to that side. And I was watching film, and as Coach Dale told me, he said, do your job. Last week, I ain't do my job, and, I mean, it messed with me. It messed with the whole team, but this week I did my job, focus on my job, and pick 6.
There it was.
That's unbelievable, Wayne. Congratulations on that. That was huge. What are some of the challenges you face as a leader on the team every week facing a new team each week? What are some of those challenges like for you?
Every now and then having a bump in the box and read the H-back every now and then. It'll be a challenge to me. But other than that, I pretty much then mastered everything, and I understand our defense now, so I can step up and be a leader as from my freshman year what I was doing. So I try not to let them go down the path I went down.
Leadership. That's
leadership. That's
Yep.
right. You talked about it a little bit, but I want you to delve more into it. The growth of the defense over these last 2 games, and even during summer camp, and just because, you know, you're one of the leaders, you see what everyone is doing, and you try to be encouraging to them. Just talk about that growth that y'all have had through 2 games.
I mean, I feel like everybody stepping up, realizing, like, that we going to have to come on, like, coaches pushing us harder than they did last year. I mean, I'll say we all accepting it, working, everybody working for it, and it's all coming together. I mean, we still got more work to put in as we go through the season, but it's coming together for us.
Who's giving you that, who or what gives you that drive every week to go out there and just, well, for lack of a better term, just ball out?
I mean, as I think about it, this is my last year to, like, prove myself. Like, if I want to go to the next level and play every chance I get on the field, I got to show what I got if I want to go to the next level and play.
Absolutely. Now looking ahead to Cedar Park, big trip, 3-hour drive, and how do you feel about that? Just being able to lock in on a 3-hour bus ride over there to Cedar Park.
I mean, I feel good as long as we stay focused, locked in from when we leave the field house till we arrive, and everybody get off the bus with it on our mind. We're gonna come out on top.
There you go. What stands out to you about the Timberwolves?
I mean, I seen they made a couple good plays, but they ain't been hit like we gonna hit them. They ain't nobody swarm to them like we gonna swarm to them as a Hornet.
Man. Physical football, man, that's what it's all about. What's a bigger challenge as a linebacker, stopping the run or stopping the pass, and why?
I mean, I would say for me, stopping the run for me, because I'm coming from, it depends on which way the run going to. I mean, I'm coming from a little ways out there. And I mean, if I get there, it's a party. Once we get there, it's a Hornet party for sure.
Absolutely, because you play more on the weak side.
Nah, I'm on the strong side.
You're on the strong side.
I'm on the field side, so I'm more to the wide side of the field.
So you do have to travel a long way. But what goes through your mind when it comes to those play actions, and sometimes they do to opposing offenses do to draw you linebackers in?
It go back to what Coach Dale taught us: do your job, squirming, being right there, making the right reads.
What's the dream job for you one day beyond football? Beyond football, have you given it thought?
Probably either welding or calf roping, one of the two.
Talk about calf roping. This is my 5th year in Huntsville, and Brian grew up here, so you can probably know a little bit about that. But I grew up in the city of Houston, so not a lot of calf roping going on out there. Just talk about that a little bit.
I mean, it's like a backup sport to me. I've been doing it since I was like 6, 7, and I mean, if I need money, I know I can always go to that, go jump on my horse, and go get money.
That's good.
That is good, man.
That's good. So talk about school. I mean, education is always should be at the forefront of your mind.
Right.
Just how important is that for you, especially now in your last year of high school?
Realizing like school is like a big role of going to the next level too. So got to stay focused in the classroom, and like Coach Southern say, sit at the front. Ever since Coach Southern told me that, I try to sit at the front, distance myself from people that's not got the same goal as me.
Brian,
do you play any other sports besides football?
I mean, I was playing basketball, but I just gave up on that and focused on football. But I might break back out this year. Surprise, okay. Coach O. Never know.
Shout out Coach O. It's my guy. Did you play in HYFL?
Yes, sir.
Growing up? Okay, so I want you to talk about that experience a bit, because I don't think we talk about it enough, because this is where a lot of you guys get your start at a young age, prepares you for Mance Park and ultimately for Huntsville. Just talk about that, your time in HYFL.
Well, honestly, if it wasn't for my uncle as a kid, shout out to my uncle, I probably wouldn't be up here. I was playing in Cold Spring, and my uncle used to come get me from Cold Spring and bring me to practice every day. And he literally, he made me step up and realize, I got actual potential. Like, in Cold Spring, it was fun, but it was I was just running all around them, over them and stuff. Then I come up here, and when I come up here, it was a little bit different. It was that's when I met Shallow, I met Tyler. Well, Tyler was my cousin, but I met a whole bunch of other people that we played with, like Jaden Bradford, Braylon, Peyton. I met a lot of them from HYFL, and ever since then, we grew from little ones together, and now I'm just waiting to see it pay off.
I mean, it builds that chemistry from a young age, and that's the great stuff that HYFL does.
Yeah, it's like a lifelong chemistry that these guys get to play, through high school together.
That's right.
That is super cool.
Now, if you could give a piece of advice, up-and-coming 8th grader, 9th grader, freshman in high school just starting out, what would you say to them when it comes to football?
Don't hang around the wrong people. Hang around the right people. Encourage yourself to do better.
Say that one more time.
Don't hang around the wrong people. Encourage yourself to do better. Hang around people that got the same goal as you.
That's right.
You heard it right there. That's where it's at, right there. That's what it's all about. Give it up, man. That's huge.
It's good. I want to ask you this. You've always played defense. I've watched you the last 3 years. I've always seen you on the defensive side of the ball. Did you play offense?
I played receiver my sophomore year.
That's
and then freshman year, I played running back and linebacker. Freshman year.
What did you enjoy about the offensive side of the ball now that you see it from a defensive perspective?
Probably scoring, making a defensive player miss, scoring. But I was always more of a contact type of person on offense.
Okay, I got you. And then just some last thoughts going into Friday. Just what do you want to say to the Huntsville community to get them out there to Cedar Park and cheer you guys on?
Everybody come out, support us, man. It's going to be worth it, promise you.
Absolutely, it's going to be worth it. Anybody you want to give a shout-out to before we let you go?
Shout out to all the coaches, all my teammates. Shout out to my boy CJ, new DN over here. He just came down here. I mean, shout out to my mom, my dad, my family, teachers at the school, principals, Officer Douglas. Shout out to my guy, man.
There you go. There you go. All right, y'all give it up for Bug McCorrick Norman, linebacker, joining us tonight.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
We'll step aside and take a break, and we're going to have a unique segment coming your way here in just a moment. Stick around, and we'll tell you about it when we come back on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. You can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes, right here in Huntsville, can switch you over so you can start saving today. Diana and her team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. Just give her a call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Man, I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, you know? I wanted to get back in the game, so I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students, and I get paid to make the big calls. Do you want to see the game up close? Sign up to become an official in Texas at highschoolofficials.com.
And welcome back, everybody, here on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show, live tonight from Chick-fil-A of Huntsville. Real quick, before we dive into this next segment, I want to shout out two guys that are in the house. Cesar Robledo and Julian Casanova are in the house tonight. Former Hornets. Y'all give it up for them joining us this evening. Thanks for coming, fellas. And like I said, folks, we are still accepting entries for our 2 T-shirts that we are giving away at the end of tonight's show. They are the shirts that will be given away on November the 8th in the season finale against Splendora for Red, White, and Blue Night. So get your name in the hat. Our general manager, Tim Johnson, is going to do his best Vanna White impression and show that off right there for you guys. So enter to win. We'll see if you are a winner here at the end of the show. All right. I think this is the first time we've ever had 2 players on at the same time on the show, and for good reason, because we got twins on the show here tonight. Y'all give it up for offensive linemen Caleb and Eli Cruz.
And not the Doublemint twins.
Yes. Fellas, how we doing?
Good, how you doing?
Doing great. Y'all talk in unison, too. That's awesome. I love that. So let me ask both of you guys. You're both on the O-line.
Yes, sir.
Just whoever wants to go first can do this. This is a unique situation for me. I don't know how to handle this, but just being on the offensive line as brothers, what's that like for you guys?
It's amazing. You know, I get to be on the field with my brother. You know, I've done this pretty much my whole life. So, you know, it feels good being able to play on the same side of the ball now as my brother.
Playing on the same side, yes, sir. It feels great playing next to Caleb because we've always played next to each other since we were very little. So it feels great. It feels really good.
That's good.
So getting to play football or sports with your brother growing up, and you guys being identical twins, I mean, this is just wild. Did you guys push each other as brothers growing up? Were you very competitive against one another? How was that?
We always pushed each other, and we were very competitive against each other.
So the answer is yes to
both. We challenged each other. Yes, sir.
Do you guys ever switch classes and just mess with your teachers? I mean, you got to.
No, we've never have. A lot of people say we should.
I'm not recommending it.
Don't
but I think
do that.
I think it'd be pretty funny.
The coaches out there, no, you guys are all good.
Yeah, it's all good. Caleb, I want to ask you this. Where do you draw inspiration from just to be the best you can be? Not just on the field, but also off the field, in the classroom, at home.
I'm always, you know, trying to be better than this guy. So I take inspiration from him because I know he's always trying to get better just like I am. So we're always trying to push each other, be the best we can on and off the field, in the classroom, or on the football field.
B.A.?
What's the biggest lesson, and it's just to both of you, both of you can take a turn, but what's the lesson you learned from one another?
He used to play defense, so one thing he taught me going against him is just to always keep my hands inside, you know. That's one thing I've learned from him. And
Another thing that he told me, like, I used to be on defense, so what he told me is be more violent, be confident. We both would always challenge each other, and as I said, we would always challenge each other, and we go hard at each other. A lot of times when you're brothers, you start to fight with each other. You know.
Did y'all fight a little bit growing up?
Oh yeah. It was bound to happen.
I think we knew that answer.
I'm sure you and Mark had your spats.
No, we got along every day. It was great. Roses, perfect.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not. Caleb, I want to ask you this. I know you're dealing with an injury right now, but and I understand because I got hurt my junior year of high school as well. Just what gives you that inspiration to just keep pressing on and being out there supporting not just your brother, but the band of brothers around you?
My teammates, because I know just like they'd help me. You know, if one of them were to get injured, they'd support me all the way through. I'd do the same for them because they're my brothers all the way.
That's right. B.A.?
What are some of the things you guys enjoy doing outside of football? Either separately, together, whatever.
I enjoy sleeping.
Sleeping.
That's one of my favorites.
Don't we all?
Yep.
I would say we enjoy, like, just me and Caleb, like, just talking in general, because we like to talk about a lot of things outside of football and in school as well.
Are there times, and I'm just curious, my own kind of weird curiosity, do you guys, being identical twins, kind of know what the other's thinking a lot of times without even talking about it?
Twins intuition, if you will?
Yes.
Feels like it sometimes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Feels like it sometimes.
Do you have, like, an example that you could share with us with that, what you're talking about?
A lot of times we say the same thing at the same time. So.
Same thing at the same time.
Like when they opened the show here.
Yeah.
That was on the spot.
It was on the spot. Yeah, that was cool.
Eli, you are on the powerlifting team,
Yes,
if
sir.
I'm not mistaken. Talk about that a little bit, being a power lifter for Huntsville High.
It's actually a lot of fun. Lifting heavy weights or going to powerlifting meets, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, especially when you get out of school early.
That's the kicker right there. What's the heaviest you've lifted?
430, I guess, on squat.
He started with 4. That made my back hurt. Golly, that's impressive, young man. That's awesome. Let me think. Caleb, do you play anything else outside of football?
I do powerlifting too.
You do powerlifting too. Okay. What's the heaviest you've lifted?
450.
450. Ooh. You know what you got to get to now.
I'm strong on arms, though.
You're strong on arms.
Here we go.
Okay. There you go. B.A.?
That's awesome. Any thoughts on life after high school? What you guys or plans maybe?
I want to go to A&M to major in computer science and become a software engineer.
Awesome.
Outstanding.
Eli?
Become an engineer too, any college, but at the same time, I want to pursue football as well, any chance I get.
Absolutely.
Man, that's awesome.
That's awesome. Now, I know you used to play defense, and you've been on the offensive side. If you could either flip roles or play a different position, completely away from the trenches, what would it be and why?
Running back.
Running back. Why running back?
Who gets to see a big man run down the field?
Hey, Coach, I think your goal line running back's right here.
Eli?
I would say probably linebacker.
Linebacker, okay.
Seems a lot of fun.
Take some lessons from Bug. Is he still here? Okay, I see him back there. Take some lessons from Bug, yeah. Okay. I've been waiting for this all day long when I came up with it this morning. We'll do a mini segment here on the show. This, you guys talked in unison right there at the start of the show, which I thought was pretty cool, and it's a perfect segue into this. This is called Brother Like Brother or Not. It's this or that type of things. We'll see if you guys agree on the same thing or if you don't. So enjoy this. Which do you prefer, a long road trip or flying?
Flying.
Long road trip.
Ooh, already a split out of the jump. Okay. Waking up early or staying up late?
Waking up early.
Staying up late.
I see a trend here. Math or English?
English.
There we go. To go on a vacation, would you rather go to Hawaii or Alaska?
Hawaii.
I like that. Fishing or hunting?
Hunting.
Hunting, all right. Let's delve into some video game. Call of Duty or Halo?
Call of Duty.
Okay. Madden or 2K?
Madden.
Okay, now I'm seeing the trend here. Marvel or DC?
DC.
Marvel.
Another split. Why Marvel?
I just like the heroes more.
Same thing for you?
I like DC. Marvel's been on a downfall.
So what's your favorite hero?
Spider-Man.
Batman.
Batman. I like that. Hip-hop, rap, or rock?
Hip-hop, rap.
Rap.
Rap, okay. Bad Buddy or Daddy Yankee?
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. There you go. You don't know who they are, do you? Next road trip we're
question,
taking.
please.
Next road trip we're taking. I'll enlighten you. Some good stuff. NFL or college football?
College football.
College football.
Who's your favorite college football team?
UT.
UT.
UT. Okay. I was worried for a second. I thought one was going to say A&M, one was going to say UT. You're going to have a family feud here in a second. Do y'all watch the NFL?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Okay.
still watch the
Texans or Cowboys?
Texans.
Texans.
Great answer. Great answer.
Oh, the peanut gallery didn't like that one one bit.
Pour some booze.
We're winning the Super Bowl. I'm just saying. All right. Before we let you guys go, I'll let you each individually give yourself, or just anybody you want to give a shout out to real quick.
My mom in the back.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Eli?
I want to shout out my dad and all the coaches that have helped us.
All right, there you go. Wow, that was fun. We got to do this. You need to get more twins, Coach. That was a lot of fun. All right, y'all give it up for Eli and Caleb Cruz joining us tonight.
Nice job, guys. Good
job,
luck
fellas.
Friday.
All right, we'll step aside and take a break. When we come back, the head honcho, head coach Rodney Southern, joins us on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show.
There's nothing sweeter than a baby's giggle. Fill your Wednesdays and smiles for miles at toddler time from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. at Chick-fil-A of Huntsville. Bring your 2 to 5-year-olds for crafts and guest appearances. It's toddler time every Wednesday morning at 9:30 only at Chick-fil-A Huntsville. Find out more on the Chick-fil-A of Huntsville Facebook page or through the events calendar on the Chick-fil-A Huntsville website. See you there.
Don't get stung having the wrong insurance coverage. Switch to AIM Agencies. AIM Agencies reviews your needs, then researches quality independent insurance providers to secure you affordable, dependable protection for your home, car, or boat. And here's the best part. You'll work with a real person who listens and will help you protect what's important. It's easy to stop overpaying. Contact David Beatty today at AIM Agencies for local personal service. AIM Agencies, the right coverage at the right price. AIMAgencies.com.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show. Again, folks, as we're winding our way to the end, get your name into the spinner here to win one of two, or actually, no, sorry, both of the shirts here tonight that we'll be giving away here at the end of the show here tonight. All right, y'all give it up for head coach, my man, Rodney Southern. Y'all give it up for Coach. Coach, how are you, sir?
I'm good.
Glad to have you back here, as always. An opening statement, big win against Bryan on Friday night, and put a bow on that and look forward to Cedar Park.
Well, probably the biggest thing, we didn't turn the ball over, and we created turnovers, and obviously Bug's turnover late in the fourth or early in the fourth actually, I think, kind of sealed the deal. I thought we played much better start to finish. We cut the penalties in half. Still got a couple things there we got to clean up, but I thought number one for them was as advertised, and you saw that the second touchdown he made, probably the best play I've seen in a long time. But I thought our guys, both sides of the ball, were much more consistent. I thought we were solid in the kicking game most of the night, and when you do those things and don't turn it over, we rushed for 367 yards again. So we've got almost 800 yards rushing in 2 games, and we're going to win a lot of games when we do that.
Hey, Coach, what were your thoughts when the score was 21-17, midway through the third quarter? What was going through your head and things like that?
Well, when they kicked the field goal to make it 17, I thought, okay, at this point, we've got to eat some clock, and we've got to separate if we can separate from them. Sometimes, that's easier said than done because obviously they're prepared and they're prepped for what you're trying to do. But I thought we handled the transition late in the third and early in the fourth. The week before, we didn't play well at all in the fourth quarter. And there's 4 or 5 things that we kind of talk about. They're on our plan to win wall, and I think they're they're the most critical things. Turnovers being the first one, winning the fourth quarter. You know, we gave up 17 points a week before in the fourth quarter, and we kind of sealed it in the fourth quarter this week. So overall, you know, we're going to be in close games. We've set a schedule, and, you know, we've talked about this before, just like, you know, riding to Cedar Park. Cedar Park beat Austin Vandergrift, who is a really, really good 6A team. They played Harker Heights a week before and lost in 5 overtimes. So, I mean, they're a quality opponent. But I've told our guys they remind me a whole lot of Port Neches Grove and potentially Lake Creek. So we've got to be able to beat those kind of people down the road. So we need to get this and get one like this under our belt. But I thought overall, our kids played really well. And the thing I like the other night, you know, and Jarius Singletary was our offensive player of the week this week. And if you watch him on film, the way we blocked at the point of attack the other night, I was never concerned that we were not going to handle the game. And, you know, you want to get ahead. And obviously making the big plays early in the fourth quarter kind of changed all that.
I want to talk specifically about the interception for Bug, and you could talk about Bug more in length here too. Just you said it. That was the momentum. That was the nail in the coffin. That was the theme tonight, talking with Coach Del Real and with Bug himself. Just, I mean, how important is that to just have that depth in that position, not only behind Bug, but having him, you know, healthy out there on the field?
Well, I think he was, you know, what he said to you here just a few minutes ago, that, you know, he knows there were some plays that we left on the field week 1, and if we don't take care of our business there, or if we do take care of our business, we're probably sitting here 2-0. So, you know, and I joked with him today walking out to practice. You know, we do that drill. Coach Bohannon does that drill with them almost every day where he makes them break and catch the football. Because that wasn't easy. Number one, he was in the right spot, but he tips it and then has to catch it himself. Now, once he caught it, you know, he had a pretty good path, and Sam Cleveland and a couple other guys were in front of him. But, you know, turnovers are, you know, you saw it yesterday in the NFL. You've seen it on Saturdays in college. Turnovers will kill you in a game. And, you know, for us to get 2 big interceptions, and, you know, and Trey Scott's interception kind of didn't get a lot of attention, but, you know, we were kind of on our heels at that point. We'd given up 2 big scores already, and he made a heck of a play on a slant route. So, but, you know, Bug's a playmaker, and that's a thing that we're starting to see. You know, every week I hope against Cedar Park you see 2 or 3 more guys that are playmakers. Bug is obviously one. You know, I thought Jarius played really well. Zach Moss played really well the other night for all 4 quarters. So, you know, the more playmakers you get on a Friday night, the better chance you got to win.
All right, let's talk about the Timberwolves. Cedar Park, long drive out there. Just some thoughts on the personnel and what Coach Quintero brings to the table.
Well, I've got a lot of connections. Their defensive coordinator was on my staff in Marshall. He and I coached together in Coppers Cove for several years. His wife and my wife are actually really good friends, and I wanted to play somebody like that. Now, how this actually came about, he had College Station scheduled, and I had A&M before realignment, and the realignment kind of switched. And we couldn't play A&M because they were of their district alignment and our district alignment. And Brent Britton is their defensive coordinator. And Brent called me and he said, "Hey, we just lost a game." And, you know, the first thing that popped in my head is that's Port Neches Grove. It's the same type of team. It's a physical, very well-coached football team that I know we're going to have to see in a few weeks. And I said, if we get a chance to go compete against that type of team and to go on the road for 3 hours, you know, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. You know, it's about the same distance from here to there that it is from here to Jerry World. So, you know, let's practice something else that we hope we have to do down the road.
Coach, this is the this is the last non-district game coming up this Friday. What do you hope to see, and what kind of improvements are you hoping to see prior to starting your district campaign?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, you get tested every week, and it's a different test. This team is very well coached. They've got a little receiver that is probably as crisp as any receiver that we've seen running routes. They've got a running back that rushed for 1,600 yards. Their defensive coordinator's been doing it a long time. His dad was a coach at Vernon for years, so he grew up around football. So we're going to put our kids in an environment that is violent, but it's also an environment that we're going to have to learn how to thrive in, because we're going to have to see these kind of teams hopefully down the road, whether it's district teams or hopefully it's teams as we go through the playoffs. So you want to improve some more. You want to stay healthy, obviously, because we've got an open week coming after that. But overall, you want to play well. They've played 2 overtime games. They've played really good opponents. I think we've played 2 really good opponents, and it ought to be a heck of a game.
Talk about, these type of matchups can bring forward adversity. I mean, we've beaten the dead horse, the 3-hour drive out there, with the state the team's in right now health-wise, which is solid, but some holes in some areas. Just how do the guys just manage that adversity going into a last non-district slate?
Well, I think the biggest thing, you don't talk about it. I mean, the guys that, of course, Eli and Caleb, the situation that's happened, one of them's injured, but the other one's getting a better opportunity. And, and we've got guys that play some that may not get to play as much, but they may get more of an opportunity this week. We try to really look at that every week and say, okay, can we get this guy more touches, or can we get him more snaps? And I challenge our coaches to do that, because there's going to come a point in some point in a game where you're going to lose a guy, and you're going to lose him in the game, and you've got to have somebody ready to step in and take whatever that role is. And you want to do that if you have the opportunity. Now, you want to win the game too, obviously, because that's the number one priority coming into an open week. If we can go beat a team like this, they're obviously bigger than us in terms of enrollment. They're a 5A D1. They're ranked in the top 20 in Division I. But it's the challenge of all the other stuff. We're going to have a long trip, but we've got a way. We're going to stop in Hutto, and we're going to get out, and we're going to kind of do a little semi-warm-up on their practice field, and just to break the monotony of riding in a bus for 3 hours right after you ate. So that's all a challenge. It's all by design. I would have loved to got these guys at home, because I got P&G at home this year. But at the same time, they've got to learn how to do this, and some of them have never done it, so it'll be their first time.
How's the staff been feeling going into this week, being at 1-1?
Well, I think you got to look at your non-district. If we were 3-0, 2-1, 1-2, 0-3, I still know we got a good football team, and it doesn't count until we open district. But at the same time, you want to see, the amount of improvement we made from week 1 to week 2, which is typical, but now it'll get smaller increments of improvement, but some of those will be significant, because it's a kid who may not be a full-time starter who stepped in and played a major role and helped us win a game.
Coach, I just want to just say a quick observation to you real fast before I ask you my last question. On the way over here tonight, I was listening to the Houston Texans coaches show, and they were asking D'Amico Ryans, things that we're asking you, typical, questions. But he made the comment that when he sees D'Amico Ryans' team come out on the field, he is comfortable within himself, knowing that team is at the best it's going to be. They are well coached. The parents can not worry about their kids because they're in good hands. And when I heard all those words, the first thing I thought of was you and these Hornets, because these Hornets are in good shape because of you and your staff.
Well, I appreciate that.
Last thing, what are the keys to victories, Coach?
Well, I think number one, handle the unusual things that may happen. Obviously, when you're going from here to Austin, I try my best never to get into Austin if I don't have to go into Austin. Handle the trip, know how to prepare when we get on a bus till we get off the bus, because how you prepare yourself hydration-wise, what we eat, when we eat, do all those things the right way so when we do get off the bus at their stadium that we're ready to compete at a high level. Probably the biggest thing for us defensively is don't let your eyes get you in a bad position, because these guys are as well coached in double moves and some play action stuff. If you make a mistake, they're going to beat you for a touchdown. We got to tackle number 6. He is explosive. He's a really good athlete. Number 21, their running backs. Again, we've seen a good running back every week. We've got to get him on the ground. Offensively, we've got to do what we do. We've got to be able to run the football. I'd like to see us throw it a little bit more, but I'm not going to throw it for the sake of throwing it. If we can rush for 400 yards, we'll rush for 400 yards. But I think those things are key. And then we got to handle how we handle it after that, because you got to ride a bus back, and then we've got an open week. We've got grades coming up. So a lot of other factors that have nothing to do with football that we've got to handle.
All right, there you have it. Y'all give it up for head coach Rodney Southern joining us tonight. Coach, thanks for your time. Best of luck this week.
Appreciate it. And I wanted to, if y'all don't mind, I just wanted to quickly say, we've had 2 teachers on here, and you hear, and a lot of times they don't get, I don't think they get enough credit for what they do. Obviously, Mr. Bomball's been here a long time, and listening to our kids talk about him and how he is. And, of course, he's responsible for the flag corps that runs out in front of our team. And it's just exciting for me as now an older coach to look and see people like him and like Miss Kaysen that are doing some admirable work at the high school. And I just want to tell them publicly thank you for what they do.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. We'll step aside and take one last break. We'll give away the shirts and let you know where you can catch the broadcast coming up on Friday night. Stay tuned.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. You can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Diana K. Barnes, right here in Huntsville, can switch you over so you can start saving today. Diana and her team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. Just give her a call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
School sports are played by humans, coached by humans, and officiated by humans. So the next time you're sitting in the stands at a school athletic event, please remember this and maintain your humanity, especially when it comes to judging and critiquing athletes, coaches, and officials. Please show your fellow humans some respect. They'll appreciate your empathy.
This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show with head coach Rodney Southern. Final things to do here before we say goodbye. We are now going to give away this wonderful T-shirt. Tim, my hand's tied. Could you show this off to the camera and to the folks in attendance tonight? There you go. That is the shirt that will be given out to the folks at the final game of the season that we at KSAM help sponsor. It'll be against Splendora on November the 8th. Our first winner of the 2 shirts we have, the one shirt I should say, is Saria Castro. There we go, way back there.
That's Mom.
That's Mom of the Cruz boys. And our second winner of our last shirt that we will give away, and I will say we will give away 2 shirts at every show for the rest of the season leading up to that ball game. The final winner, Brian, you want to do the honors?
Stephanie Pitts. Stephanie Pitts.
There you go. There you go.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Absolutely, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to go. We thank you so much for joining us here tonight on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show. For the folks here in attendance, y'all give yourselves a round of applause. Thanks for being here. Cesar, Julian, Appreciate you guys and all our guests. The ball game coming up this Friday night. Guys, I know it's 3 hours away, but it's going to be well worth the trip out to the Austin area to cheer on the Hornets. So go to Cedar Park on Friday night. We hope to see you there. If you cannot make the trip out there, we'll have the broadcast for you right here on KSAM and on the KSAM YouTube channel. Myself and Brian are back. Houston's down on the sidelines. 6:15 p.m. pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff. All right, that'll do it for us. Thanks for joining us. And as always, guys, on the count of 3, let's let Cedar Park, the T-Wolves, know who Huntsville is all about with a big 1-2-3 Sting 'em Hornets. 1, 2, 3. Sting 'em Hornets. Good night. God bless and so long from Chick-fil-A of Huntsville.